Find out.
Welcome to Boys and Brunch. This is the show where we expose everything going down on the timeline. And speaking of the timeline, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see the timeline is broken down into pieces later on in the day after we record the live show. And you can jump straight to the topic that you want to see. I'm Jarrod D. King. I'm joined by my co-host Brandon Harris Williams and Marcus Haynes. Hello, fellas.
Hello.
Good morning.
So, why don't you guys give us a quick update on what's been going on and what you're drinking today? Marcus, I want to start with you because you're very colorful today.
Oh, well, thank you.
What's going
on? Nothing much really. Classes ended earlier. Well, last week or what have you. Yes, So now it's all over, but the grading. So I'll be doing that the early part of this week, and then it's a good 2, maybe 3 week break until summer school starts.
All right. Awesome. So, you got any plans for your time off right now?
These first 2 weeks, no. I am going to sleep. But because I'm only teaching the first part of summer school, I'll be done like June. So, I have now that I'm, fully vaxxed, I have some plans, some things may move and shake.
Summer. Oh, okay.
Absolutely. Love it. And what are you drinking today?
I still have wine left over, so I'm still drinking mimosas until I go back to the store and re-up.
Gotcha. All right. Very good. Brandon, why don't you give us a quick update? Let us know what you're drinking.
So I'm still home visiting family. I came home last Saturday. I'm leaving later this week. I'm not gonna stay as long as I originally planned, but just later this week. Yesterday we did like a Mother's Day barbecue thing. It was supposed to rain, so we were all inside, but it didn't rain, but it still was cold. It was like 50-something degrees. But it was good to see family and everybody come over and exchange gifts and laugh and blase, whatever. I'm still not drinking alcohol because I've also been a little sick. I don't know if it's allergies or a cold or what. I don't know. But so I just have some juice today.
Okay. Nothing wrong with a little juice.
That's right.
Hope you feel better.
Yeah, I hope you feel better too.
I'm coming out of it, but I don't know what was going on a few days ago.
Okay. It's not the vaccination stuff, or is it something else?
I've not done that yet, so it's not that.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I plan on doing that when I go back to Georgia.
Got you. Okay. All right. That's good. I think for me, past few days this week has been hectic, I will say. I took some classes with the brand builders group to try to see what I could do to kind of boost this whole thing and see what what I learned is that I'm in the very early stages of actually building something. And so I'm not quite where I need to be as far as figuring everything out. But, I'm going to keep at it and I'm going to figure out what I need to do to get myself to the next level. And to get this to the next level so that we can reach more people and we can have more fun. And maybe I can have a message behind the madness that we talk about. You know what I'm saying? Because we talk a lot about mess, but it's like, what is the overarching theme, I guess, is kind of what I'm trying to get to, or even if there needs to be one. So aside from that, I went to a couple parties this past weekend.
Yes.
Living my vaccinated life.
Yes,
So yeah, but I am definitely keeping my behind in the house for the next couple of weeks because I'm still paranoid, and I know it's like it doesn't make sense, but I have to, let's do a double Dutch thing, like out and back in, out and back in.
I mean, because there aren't enough people vaccinated, so I get
that part.
Again, right. I was one of the very few here yesterday that was not, so it's like I get it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I'm with Brandon yet again because of my partying on Friday and Saturday.
On Friday, Saturday, so you can be ready on Sunday. Like, I thought we'd have heard this excuse.
Yeah, well, because of that, I am sticking with my sparkling water. I have some coffee here, so I have 2 drinks. So, but none of them alcoholic. But I mean, the caffeine will make you get a little loose, and so that kind of helps a little bit.
Okay.
So let me just say hello to the Bourgeois. I see Mama Shay, Eric, hello, connected. Yeah, Hung Up Pod is in the building. It's good to see you guys. And everybody else who's joining, you know, please let us know where you're from and say hey to us and we'll shout you out. And give us a like if you're watching us on YouTube or on Twitter. Heart it up on Twitter. So we have some topics. I don't even think I said what the topics were. And I think that, you know, so I'm like completely out of it because I'm using a new computer. And it's Wi-Fi only. So I'm hoping that the feed will be okay. Because my other computer is in the background, it's updating and it's stuck on 57%. So I'm like, okay, do something, please. So we'll see how this goes. But our topics today, we're talking about the SWV and Xscape Verzuz. And then we're going to jump into a review of Pose season 3, episode 1 and 2. And then we're going to talk about this Black Superman that has been announced. And finally, we're going to end off with bad grad pics. That'll be an interesting conversation. So stay tuned for that. But I think we're ready to jump into this first topic, though. So let's talk about SWV and Xscape Verzuz. Marcus, you said that you watched this from beginning to end. I will admit that I did not watch this at all. I'm not into the Verzuz thing all that much, to be quite honest. And then on top of that, Xscape and SWV, I think, was a little bit before my time. I think that's more, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that more like a Gen X? I know y'all are, I know, but I'm just like,
Well, I have an old soul, so okay, it's fine. We'll give you that. You weren't in high school when they were out, is what you're trying to say? Like you weren't
basically like they weren't the ones that they were pushing on the radio. You know what I'm saying? Like
I mean, they have been off the radio like regularly for like 20 years. I'll allow it.
Okay.
I'll allow it in that context.
I just never really got into either one of them as either one of their music. So that's why I'm going to take a step back from this conversation and I'll just ask the basic questions and maybe pop in and pop out. But I guess I want to start with basically, who do you guys think won the Verzuz? Maybe we'll start with Marcus.
Well, it was like a back and forth. Like I think Xscape. Well, I think I'm a bigger fan of Xscape because I know more of their music anyway. So I kind of went in thinking, you know, they was going to do it, and they kind of carried that first round, but I don't know if they came out hot and they kind of burnt out early, but SWV just drugged them all over down the stage in the second round. So I personally would give the edge to SWV because they won a couple of rounds in the first half or whatever. There was nothing Xscape could do in the second half. So they had to reach into Candy's bag to try to compete. So it was just like.
Now, see, that's what I was seeing on Twitter was they were talking about some of the stuff that Candy had written. I'm like, well, how does that factor into this Verzuz? Because
well, I mean, I guess people before have done it, but I don't think it's fair if you're in a group though, like to play her stuff because it's like okay, but it's still for y'all. Because I heard it was a lot of like album cuts they could have played. But they didn't, because I only saw the first half, and I think I agree with Marcus. Everything I was seeing say that SWV did a lot better in the second half, because they just felt kind of like sleepy, almost, or like we're just kind of here a bit in the first half. And while Xscape was doing, I guess they were more lively. They weren't, I think, at their full capacity either. So I feel like the first half was like a practice for everybody almost. But yeah, Candy could have kept that stuff. I wanted to hear all of Xscape stuff. I didn't want to hear none of that. I wanted nothing. And I enjoy her. I just don't want to hear nothing you did for nobody else. Why are we playing bills? Like, why?
Listen, Candy said, I'm going to get all of these streams.
And I think that's what annoys me. She's like, anytime y'all call me do something, we're going to make sure we benefit me as well, not just the group. And it's like, sis, it's not fair.
Like, it's not, but can you blame her, though?
Yeah. I can, but I don't want to. I want to go all the way there. So it's fine.
No, I feel it. I mean, I feel like I feel like the fact that they had to kind of dip into Candy's pen just goes to show, like, y'all didn't practice this beforehand. Whereas, I really, honestly and truthfully, I feel like SWV was just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because when they came back, they put on like hoodies and they like shorts and sneakers. And they was like, all right, let's go. And they started giving performance. You know, Coco tied up her hair. Was like, all right, let's go.
Praise
like,
God.
it's time to go. Everywhere. She was fighting the braids more than she was fighting the Xscape.
Hello. But no, and I really love them both. So I really was just happy to see them both together.
Yeah.
No matter how it went, honestly.
Yeah. And, I mean, I feel like one of them could have stayed at home.
One of who?
We're gonna get to. I know he's talking about, and this I didn't even have to watch to know who he's talking about.
Who could have stayed at home?
You gonna get to it? Go ahead.
You're gonna get to it. Were there any standout moments?
Not in the first half.
I think I agree.
Okay.
So I haven't seen the second half yet. But
Now the second, when stand out, not really in the first half. In the second half, yes. Like I said, SWV did the thing. Like especially them like ending off their set with Week. They could have ended the show. Like they could have stopped right there. But I guess Xscape was like, oh no, we want to do something else.
No, it was their turn because SWV started when they came back.
Yeah, but is it? I don't know if it's like because Xscape like started the whole thing. So do they get to end the whole thing too?
Well, yeah, because they flipped. So like Xscape
started
the first half. Then when they came back, SWV started.
Okay. I still feel like they could have ended with Week because I love understanding. I really, really do.
Right, but Week is that's fair.
Week is Week. Like that was a standout for me. What else? I mean, really just most of what SWV did in the second half. Xscape had their little moments. This was I guess a moment, but it wasn't like a good thing. Like apparently, I don't know if they had all of the gaggle of T.I. and Tiny's kids in the audience, but they yelled and hollered and screamed for Xscape to start over and sing a song all the way through. So like even SWV was like, what? Like how do I get to start over and then sing the whole song? So
what song was it?
What was that song? I forgot what the song was. But yeah, it wasn't worth starting over, I'll say that.
Gotcha.
It was an audience there. I wish we could have panned so I could just see just how many people it was. Because like they were really loud at certain points. And I was like, well, I mean, you could tell it probably was no more than maybe 20. Yeah. But like those 20 got really loud at certain moments. And
that's an interesting point because I think when we watch Verzuz, how it started was just kind of very basic IGTV stuff. Yeah. And now it has morphed and grown into something else. And now things are opening up. People are getting vaccinated. People are a little bit more comfortable being in public. Like,
and I think they were in Georgia, so that's
yeah. So they already had the openness.
Right.
So
like, where do you guys think like the future of Verzuz will or should go?
I don't see it honestly going past this year. Just I think it's gotten too much bigger than, like you said, what we initially started as, and I also think we're kind of running out of people. Like, I think they have the next few things lined up, but hopefully, as people get vaccinated, as things open back up. I mean, this is still fun and enjoyable, but I just don't know who will be like super excited to make in the sea. I think, or unless they morph it into doing a one night with somebody, to where it's not a competition anymore, but just one person doing their own stuff, like Babyface did last year, I think. So if they do more stuff like that, they can go a little bit longer. But they keep having it two people or two groups against each other. We're running out of folks.
Yeah. The thing is like when you call it a Verzuz, though, it's like it can't just be like a one person thing. That's the only thing. But Marcus, you were about to say something?
Yeah. I was gonna say two things. Going back to the previous thing, another good moment, at least for me, was when Coco's son sang "Sunshine" with her. I really like that.
Oh, it's son.
Yeah. So that, and as far as like where it could go, I kind of agree that I don't see it going too much longer simply because we're running out of people. Like, I think it's a good thing for, artists who have been out for a while, like to kind of get that like boost to their catalog, like on the streaming and stuff. Like I'm certain people are streaming the hell out of Xscape and SWV right now, probably right now. But, we're running out of people to go Verzuz against. Like we still have, so it almost needs to become like a one person concert thing. Because like we got people. Because I would love to see Mary J, but who's gonna go against Mary J?
I think people can bring it up. It's either gonna have to be Janet or Mariah's old people like from the same era or the same amount of music. But then it's like, okay, so if you do two of them, the third person is left. So it's like,
well, they're trying. I mean, they keep putting these feelers out and trying to make it into something where you can see like a Britney versus Christina.
No.
I'm just saying.
So
I'm sorry, my little devil horns came out. I just had to throw it out there.
I was happy to see DJ Spin get her moment as well. I think I would say like these artists get their moments. I feel like SWV particularly really is like left out of conversations and we don't talk about them enough. Like Xscape, just because I think because they recently reunited, got back on tour a couple years ago, so they've been in the more current or recent, I guess, dialogue or conversation. SWV is normally left out, I feel like, of a lot of stuff. So I'm glad they got their thing, and I'm glad DJ Spin got hers because fuck them other two have she was in a group with because they could go right to hell. So
Oops.
Sorry, excuse me.
I need one of those buttons where you can just like make a sound effect. Okay, so my other question. So we were saying we're going to get back to who shouldn't have been there. Tiny. What's going on, girl? Like, why did you get a pass? I'm just curious why she got a pass for this. Like I said, I really feel like there was nobody talking about the issue that is going on. And then if you guys don't know, if you haven't heard the news, there's this whole investigation between her and her husband T.I. for sexual abuse, basically, of multiple people. So why was she there? And I'm curious.
Part of Xscape, I guess. I mean, she sings.
Oh, yeah, I mean, part of Xscape.
You said what?
No. I was repeating what she said. Go ahead.
I mean, she's part of Xscape. She does have some of the leads. Like, I mean, if anybody could have stayed home, say no controversy, whatever, it could have been Tamika Scott because she has the least amount of leads. Like, so it's whatever. So I mean, maybe because it was announced before the controversy, I think came out.
Yeah.
Because I think they did announce that they were going to do this before, or either maybe right along the same time, I think, as everything was coming out. I don't know, but her not being there probably would have been more of a conversation than her being there and us ignoring it.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely probably going to be a farewell tour for Xscape. Like, this was bye. You gotta go to jail now, girl. You gotta go to jail now. Like,
look, my thing is, I just don't think we would be having the same conversation had it been T.I. versus somebody else. We would not have given T.I. this amount of leeway. No, I'm just gonna be a hard no on this one. But go ahead, say what you gotta say.
I think because we're still investigating. I mean, because they played some of his music and everybody got up and danced. So I mean,
okay, like,
but I feel like they'll probably hit people though. I would say that. I feel like him and his kids was probably in the audience. That's who was, living.
No, but they were all dancing on stage. I did see that part. It was during the intermission, or like right at the end of the intermission. They were playing
I missed that.
One of his songs, and so of course Xscape started dancing, and then SWV as they came back out, they were dancing along too.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and I'm talking from the perspective of a primarily Twitter user, right? And so the environment in Twitter, I don't think would have given T.I. the leeway. Instagram, maybe. Facebook group, the Facebook people, the Instagram people, okay. They may have just been like, okay, let's just, whatever. But Twitter is Twitter stays on people. And I was just surprising to see that they were not talking about Tiny at all.
But I think because it's a group thing, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, the filter, I mean not filter, the I guess like cover that Tiny got probably was the fact that it was the up that you don't want to S out because like Canada may do nothing for real. So you don't want to take the opportunity from them just because she out here doing foolishness. I feel like that's probably why. I mean, because to be honest, that's kind of how I approached it. I was like, I rolled my eyes every time she was on the screen, but I was like, the mother folk and SWV ain't do nothing. So
right, okay, yeah.
So I think too, because if it was T.I. versus I don't know, whoever, but you know, when we just cancel the whole thing, do you replace T.I.? Like, because now you've messed up the other person's thing too, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Eric is saying one of the Xscape girls said they want to go on tour next, so I doubt this is a farewell.
Well, they always want to check, so we'll see.
We will see.
Didn't Monica and Brandy say they was gonna go on tour after their thing too?
Not Brandy said she wanted to go on tour. Monica did not say anything.
Didn't Ashanti say she was doing something too?
Well, Shanti ain't sat down, so
that's why
they kept getting delayed. So I mean,
she got COVID.
But I guess it's nice to say, you know, I want to do a tour, but you gotta wait till COVID restrictions let up anyway. So
true.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've covered the verses, and I'm so glad that you guys actually watched it this time because I was like no help. But we're gonna move into our second topic. But before we do, I just want to tell you guys to join the Patreon. At the very least, you could, throw in $4. It's a $4 a month thing, and you get access to the Discord, access to our exclusive after show, Splitting the Bill. We talk more about what we've talked about on this show, get more personal. We got really personal last week. So yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time, and some unexpected moments always happen. And we also try to invite some people in to speak with us as well sometimes. So it's a good thing. Now we're going to talk about Pose, season 3. We're going to talk about, they released 2 episodes. So we're talking about episode 1 and 2. So first, I guess I'll just break down the first episode real quick, and then we'll talk about that, and then we'll move into the second episode.
Are we doing spoilers?
Yeah,
it's gonna be a spoiler-heavy thing. Spoiler alert to anybody who did not watch Pose season 3, episodes 1 and 2. So here we're gonna get into it. So episode 1, we are opening with a police raid or something, and I guess it's where Elektra was working, and she all of a sudden is out of a job, basically. And it just didn't seem like, I don't know where they're going with that. It was just random. It was a random police raid. Then we learn of Blanca's new boyfriend. And she seems like she's in love. That she's calling him her Theo Huxtable, and so there's that going on. Then there's a lot of these funerals for people that are dying from AIDS. And then that being mixed with drugs and alcohol addiction for just about everybody. Then let me see. There is this new component to ballroom, which is introducing money or cash prizes as opposed to just trophies in ballroom culture. Then we have like a new antagonist who was House of Khan. Which is, I believe, one of Elektra's kids had kind of become a house father or something, and created his whole group, this new group. Then Evangelista has their own reunion, and they beat the House of Khan at the end of episode 1, and donate the money to somewhere, I think, because somebody else was dealing with HIV or something in the hospital. I think that's what that was.
No, I think they wanted. Yeah, they did. Right?
Is that what that was? Yeah.
Was it rehab?
That was the second.
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Lord.
I know. So yeah. So okay, what are your thoughts on the first episode? After that little rundown I did, didn't like it.
No.
Okay, why not?
It felt off. It felt. I don't know, when it started, it didn't feel like, I don't know, like premiere is supposed to give you a feeling of like, I don't know, we're catching you up, or like we're jumping back into the swing of things. It just felt just off kilter a little bit. I don't know. It felt like they felt like completely different people, and I get that time changes as well, because I know we jumped a few years, but something just was not there for me. It just wasn't. I don't know. Everybody on drugs now. What are we doing?
Okay, so not a fan. And Marcus, how are you feeling about it? Like any response to that?
I mostly agree. I feel like I liked the first episode more than I did the second one. I'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, it's weird because I know that they're skipping time. You know, people change and stuff happens in that time frame. But I feel like we didn't get the setup for any of the changes. Like I barely remember Cubby and Lamar from the second season. I couldn't hear you what they did at all.
Nothing.
But now we have this sort of springboard to Lamar is the we ever say is the next up and coming great house father. Like, how did we get here? The evangelization fell apart. Damon is addicted to is an alcoholic. Like I'm like everybody is smoking crack. Like, wait, how?
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like there was a good lead. Like, this could have been good as far as like, okay, we're getting the band back together. Everybody's coming back. We're gonna get on the right track. But there was no lead into the brand falling apart.
Listen, and Cubby dying. Why are we supposed to care? This man has had all of 3 lines in 2 seasons.
I mean, but we see he's him supposed to.
Okay, so my thing with Cubby, and I don't know, was that in the first episode?
No, it was the second episode. It was the second one he died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was. But anyway, we're gonna get to that because basically spoilers, whatever. And we're gonna talk about it all anyway. But him dying was like, it took me a while to even know who this character was because he looked so different in the hospital. First of all, I was like, who is this? And I was like, oh, that's the real young one, right? And I was like, oh, okay. It was like it took me so long to figure out who this guy was in the hospital bed.
So first episode was that OJ mess.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So they were watching OJ.
Because I was like, were people really doing watch? I'm like, I had to look up how long this man was running. I mean, I get that it was on the news all evening. Don't get me wrong. But I was like, how long was this man like running away from the cops that y'all had time to call everybody to come over? Like, that don't make sense to me. Like, because it took up too much of the story for me. I get that it was supposed to be something to get everybody back together, to have a family dinner and reunite everybody. But we could have did that another way.
Oh, somebody said he did die in the first episode, y'all, because that was why they challenged them to the ball at the end. Because Elektra challenged him after Buddy died.
Okay, maybe that's what happened. I mean, they're kind of running together.
I mean, I still didn't care. First episode, I don't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Joseph is saying he died in the first. Yeah. Okay. So we'll.
Yeah, I thought about it.
All right. So we got that. So before we have any more conversation, let's move into episode 2 so that we can have a full conversation about what we saw. Okay. So episode 2, there is this plan to intervene, to do an intervention for Pray Tell. And they know that in order to get him into rehab, they have to pay for it. And how are they going to pay for it? So they come up with this plan to do the ballrooms, to win all the ballroom competitions and to get the money for him to go through that. Let me see. What else do I have here? Damon apparently relapsed and he disappeared. So he's just poof, gone out of the story. Then the intervention goes wrong, of course. Pray Tell tells everybody off. Ricky ends up leaving Pray Tell. Then we have this other story of Blanca's boyfriend standing up to his mom. And then we end the episode with Pray Tell actually being admitted to rehab. I'll start off with a couple of my impressions because I have some things written down here. So first of all, I feel like them getting money from the ball is a little bit hypocritical based on what they were trying to say, that it shouldn't be about making money. It should be about, the creativity and all that stuff. Do you guys think that was a little bit hypocritical? I mean, like, I don't know. That just kind of struck me as like, there's this idea that I am recording, baby. I'm recording. Thank you. Oh my gosh. The little girl. You had to step in here. I thought I had my door locked, so excuse me, everyone. But yeah, I just thought like, there was this message that it needed to be one way, but then they went and used the money for themselves. So I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I didn't think about it until you just brought it up just then. But yeah, I mean it kind of is because they spent the whole first episode. Money shouldn't be, shouldn't be introduced to the balls. Like that's not what this is about. For the second episode, all of the money for all of the things. So yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so that was that. The other thing that I had here, let me see what I had. I could have sworn I wrote something else down. Well, anyway, let me go to what you guys are saying in the chat. Damon's relapse and disappearance pissed me off, is what Ty McKinney is saying. So what did you guys think about that? Marcus, go ahead. I think I saw
out of nowhere. I was like, what? But he was just. But I think some behind the scenes. I think they filmed episode 1. I think before the pandemic, and then they get to film everything else until later on. And I think because the actor had a death in the family last year, I think they wrote him out that way. But they could have written him out better. But I think it was a way to give him time. I think with his family or to grieve or whatever.
Yeah. Because I just watched these episodes yesterday. I had seen pretty much people come back and saying just that. So I could see, why they did it or what have you. But like Brandon said, it was really, really rushed. Especially because I feel like they were trying to set up that Damon was going to be the one to kind of help him Pretel through his stuff based off, how their interaction in the first episode. Mm-hmm. But I guess when all this stuff happened, it's like, oh, we can't do this. So yeah, he relapsed, he's gone. That's it.
That part was like, well, damn.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. I feel like at the very least they could have said he had to take another contract or something. Yeah. My thing is, why does everybody's life have to come to a crash? You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know. It was very heavy, I will say, overall. And Born in Sapphire is talking about what happened with Lulu. Is she still on that stuff? Why does Lulu and Pretel and Angel and Damon, why does everybody have to deal with addiction or HIV or both? It's just it's a little much. I mean, thank goodness Blanca seems to have more of a lighter storyline this year. I'm interested to see where that goes. I don't think, and this is, okay, so this was the other thing that I was going to say about Blanca and her boyfriend. When you start off good, in a good relationship in a show, it usually ends by the end of the show. And so that's what's worrying me. And I'm just because they're gonna find some way to really screw this up, and I feel like by the end of the series, she's gonna end up either with somebody else, or it's gonna be one of those final episodes where somebody new comes into the picture, but they don't really, flesh that out, or it's just a self-empowerment moment where it's I don't really need anybody else. I'm gonna be fine by myself, and whatever happens, happens, type of thing. Which I feel like is unfortunate. It was heartening to see that, their mom or the boyfriend's mom wasn't going to be the one to break them up, at least initially.
Right now. Yeah.
Right now. But yeah, and I was and he's so weird because I was looking for all these little things. I was like, all right, so either he's a crazy boyfriend or something, which was what I initially thought, because he kind of gave her the crazy eye. I was like, I need my woman or something.
Oh no!
Here we go.
Why they can't just be happy though? What if we really get something happy?
I would be surprised.
Brandon, I want you to write that script, okay? I want you to have a happy couple throughout the story, okay?
Oh, Lord.
Because it's the opposite happens. Either you're single and you end up in a relationship, or you're in a relationship and you end up single by the end of it. I mean, that's just
fair.
Typically,
that is normally what happens. So but Angel and Poppy have been together this whole time, and they've had issues, but they've still been, able to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that, but they've had, I don't know, it's different from that for them because they've had a progression. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they may stay together. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I feel like Poppy might end up cheating on one of these models.
I think they're supposed to get married. Now wait, how we get married?
I'm just what? Okay, so my thing is, what else are they going to throw in here? And I just feel like that may be one of the storylines. Like while she's going through rehab, he's going to end up cheating on her with one of these models or something, and make
we rebuke it.
Okay, I don't think that's Poppy. Let's not do that.
We rebuke it. We rebuke it.
All right, we'll see. Let me go through some of these chats. Let me see. Connected is saying, I thought it was very weird that Prey is a mess drunk, but still had the wherewithal to read everyone in the house down. I'm going to be honest. I'm not surprised. Pray Tell is Pray Tell is a lot, but go ahead, Marcus.
I hate him. I can't stand him. Woo!
Thank you. Woo! I am not a Pray Tell fan.
He has, because I feel like, okay, I understand what they're trying to get across. This idea, addiction harms everyone. It disturbs the entire family structures. But Pray Tell has been hateful almost the entire time he's been on the show. Like, yeah. I honestly have yet to see a redeeming quality to this man. Like, thinking back to how he has been, like, every time he's in a one-on-one setting with somebody, it's almost always dragging them for some reason. And I'm just like, why does anybody put up with him?
Right.
He just seems like a horrible person to be around. and this abusive ass relationship he has with Ricky, like, why do y'all put up with that? No, absolutely not.
I think he was better season 1. I think they started writing him differently last year or last
season. Better does not mean good.
But I think he was redeemable. I think in season 1.
I can give you that.
I can
give you that.
But yeah, he's almost like, and it's weird because Elektra was the worst of the group in season 1, but now it's the comic relief.
Huh? Right. I said now she's the comic.
Now relief. She's the comic relief. Yeah.
But you know what's interesting? Like, even when Elektra was like the worst in season 1, like she still had her moments. Like, she had the moment where she like fell on her face, she picked herself up, and she like kind of worked through with everybody else. I don't feel like Pray Tell has ever had that. He's just been trash and been trash and been trash and been trash.
Well, maybe he'll be that when he comes out of rehab. Maybe he'll be better. Maybe he'll be,
Allegedly.
Maybe. I mean, it's like I feel like this season is going to be Pray Tell heavy. I know. Me neither. And I'm just like, okay, let's get through these next couple of episodes because we need some.
Only 5 left. So.
Okay, well, we need some other characters in here. My last thing I want to talk about is this chat by Connected. He's saying, as I said on Twitter, Pose is really going to show a Black American trauma inside a Black Latin gay trauma series. Every storyline is about suffering and trauma. And we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago about kind of a traumatic or trauma porn, I guess that's the correct term, with Black series, specifically in horror. But do you think that this is, I feel like it might be walking that line. I don't know if I would necessarily put it in the trauma, in the like hard trauma category. These first couple of episodes were a little bit hard, but I still do think that there's a lot of lightness to the show as well. I just think maybe this intro to this season was a little bit heavy. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't think it's that. I do think they're true to the times or the community, specifically with HIV and maybe drug addiction and even, Pray Tell being mean. Because I feel like probably are a lot of ace elders or whomever, in the community who might kind of be that way, hard or whatever, for whatever reason. But I wouldn't say it's trauma porn or anything like that, or trauma filled, no. Because I do think the show tries to be like, or it still tries to have those comedic moments or campy moments. Because Ryan he walks that line of doing both.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's full-blown trauma porn either. I do think that this season started off heavier than what others probably have. Because I feel like when the show first started, I feel like they were very, intentional about saying, we're not going to delve into just like the horrible things that happen to trans people. So I feel like by now they're kind of tiptoeing that a little bit more. And even in the fact that I can't stand Pray Tell, like I do feel like, that's like you said, it's kind of, I don't want to say norm, but it's like it's not so much to where like, you know, I want him to like burst into flames and go jump off a bridge and nothing like that. Like, you know, it's a little bit more true to life than just like full-blown trauma porn, I think.
Yeah. I think we can end this topic with Ty McKinney's chat here. I need the rest of the seasons to focus on the girls. The show is about them, not pray tell.
Yep.
Not anymore.
You said not anymore. I mean, I guess after what he did win an Emmy, or what was that last?
He did.
Yeah.
I think for best lead, I believe.
Okay. But we talked about that. I think we talked about that last like many episodes ago. Yeah. So
interesting.
There needs to be, I don't know, there needs to be, and this is the thing. So there needs to be either a spinoff or some other, like even if it's not a spinoff, but just some other show to come in behind this one. This is the last season. And I don't want this to be just a fad. I don't want this to just be, you know, a happenstance kind of thing. I want this to be something where we get to see the Black LGBTQ community on a major network. I would like to see more Black trans women in major networks, in major positions. I think it's very important. And I don't want to lose this and go back to not having anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to watch YouTube all the time for my Black gay fix. You know what I'm saying? There's I would like to be represented on the screen. So I hope whoever's watching, any networks or anything out there, anybody who wants to chop this up and post that and retweet it or whatever, please don't let this be the end of this type of story. So anyway, I think we are
also hire us.
Yes, hire us. Speaking of hiring people behind the scenes, that's a good segue into our next topic because we are going to talk about Black Superman because the WB has announced a new Superman that I think is going to be outside of the current DC cinematic universe. Now, I've read that the script is supposed to be penned by Ta-Nehisi Coates, who wrote Between the World and Me. And also, I believe he wrote a series of Black Panther
I think so.
as well, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you make of this decision to have a Black Superman? I'm going to start with Marcus because I know he knows this topic probably better than all of us here. So why don't we just start with you there, sir?
So I think, and this is going to probably sound weird, but I think it's pandering to the highest. Because especially with WB, like outside of just their general structure for DC Comics being a complete and total mess, they have this huge controversy that's like ongoing with how they treated Ray Fisher during their The Justice League thing. Like it's coming out that this director that took over their movie like was racist, you know, misogynist, like all these horrible things. And people are like, hey, you trash. And like, you know, we don't stop supporting you because of how you treated these people. And then they say, oh no, they'll stop supporting us. Quick. Black Superman. That's what they want. Make Kal-El black. Like, no, nobody wants that. Absolutely nobody wants that. Like, and it's especially sad because it's, if you're gonna pander, at least do it right. Like at least give us one of the people who are actually Black in your huge roster instead of just you know, painting Clark Kent Black and saying like they'll be happy. No.
Yeah, and that's the thing that bugged me, at least initially reading it, because it was just like, we don't need a Black Clark Kent, especially because, as people have noted, that there is already a Black Superman that exists. His name is Calvin Ellis, but his alien name is Kal-El as well, correct?
Yes, it's spelled different.
It's spelled a little bit different. Okay, so it's weird because I'm like, okay, you guys have a chance to rectify this a little bit before you start writing or whatever. Just make it Calvin. Don't make it Clark Kent. I don't know. That's what I would say to fix it right now. There are a lot of other Black superhero characters that they could have pushed to the forefront that I don't think necessarily needs. They don't need to remake Clark Kent's story that we've seen a million times already. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I think, yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
I was like, because I think too, if the issues with Ray Fisher, just give him his spinoff. You know what I'm saying? Like, let us see he was Cyborg, right? So let us see that. Like, or Sad Shock, is that DC?
Yeah, for the most part.
I think people are asking for him for forever. Like, where's that movie? Yeah. Like, we've seen Smallville, we've seen Lois and Clark, we've seen the recent Superman movies, we've seen the older Superman movies. There's a new Superman show that's on. Like, leave us alone. We have Superman out. I don't want to see Clark Kent ever again in my lifetime. Like, but I feel the same about Batman. Like, you're sticking to these two people that we get over, redone. If you want to placate us, a pander or whatever, just give us a Black superhero that already exists in your whole roster.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, like we don't need to see Clark Kent no more.
We really don't.
Like if y'all trying to, we know you're behind, you're following Marvel, we get that. So you see Marvel just passed over Captain America, so follow in their lead. Like,
exactly. And that's exactly what's going on. I mean, they see the success of Black Panther. They see that they've come out with a Black Captain America now, and now DC is kind of, or I won't say DC, I'll say WB is playing catch up. At least that's what it looks like.
It does. But it continues to look that way.
Yeah. I'm very interested. I feel like, they should give Ray Fisher another chance there based on everything that's come out and all the people that kind of stand behind him. I was actually very surprised to see that what he was saying got a lot of traction. And I think usually the perception of somebody in his and Ray, well, no, we had already explained he played Cyborg. So I think usually the perception of somebody who does that, speaks out against the industry, is somebody who complains. At least initially, it's just somebody who's just being a complainer. But he, was able to rise above that and become somebody who people actually respect in the industry for what he said. And I think, Cyborg is right there. We've got the Green Lantern. Wasn't Martian Manhunter Black? I didn't see the Snyder Cut, but wasn't he in the Snyder Cut?
Yes.
Was he Black in the Snyder Cut?
Yeah, I mean, Martian Manhunter is Black more often than not. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we've got plenty there. We've got Nubia, who people have been talking about. We've got Vixen, who people have been talking about. Static Shock, like you said. So there's plenty of stuff there, and we've seen that you can create a new IP and it be popular because not many people know of it, and you have room because you're not stuck to certain story elements that must be there because Batman, if you make a new Batman, you have to show his parents getting shot in the street by the Joker. I mean, it's like
we've seen that how many times?
I know, it's like these poor people.
But it's the same with daggone Spider-Man. Like, and it's funny because they get younger and younger with his aunt every time, but it's like we've seen this a million times.
Yeah.
Leave us alone.
So my question to you guys is like, what other character would you rather see? Is there one character that you would pick? And it can be Marvel as well. Let's just go with that because I figure Storm will be part of this conversation at some point.
Well, since you said it, that's already there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So okay. So yeah. I mean, I'm in agreement with that. I would like to see a Storm, but you know what? I don't know. And I'm not going to go too deep in a nerdy territory because I know not everybody knows the comic book world. But I don't know Storm's story that well, and I just like my thing with Storm is that I'd never read the comics, but I just don't know how instrumental of a character she is. Is she like Marcus? Do you know her story any more than I do?
But she's
for the most part, yeah.
All right,
but she's way more instrumental in the comics than she has been that we've seen in the movies, and that's the issue, right?
Okay.
Because in the comics, like she's leader, like she's been leader not just of the X-Men, of like a couple different groups or what have you. She's like she's hailed as a goddess, like she's a big deal. So to have, if Marvel did a movie and they really kind of like delved into her origin and really showed her for what she was, like that would be a thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, we've got some ideas for y'all, comic book creators / TV producers, movie producers. Please, let's mix it up. Let's mix it up a little bit more. I'm gonna move into our last topic, which are these graduation pics. So let me share my screen.
I mean, congratulations to the class of 2021 first.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah, let's give y'all have done well before we start dragging them. Oh goodness. Okay, so this is that's the wrong tab. Let me try this again.
Was it your bookmarks? Did we miss something? I have to pull it back. Let me see if I.
No, it was not that. Oh goodness. Okay, so let me pull this up and let me enlarge this. We've got this. We've got a picture. This guy is posing with his graduation cap on in front of a water fountain that's labeled whites only. And his second pic is him as a slave walking up the steps of the university. Barefoot, yes.
With a tattered wife beater on. These are important details if you can't see with the tattered
exactly
on, like.
Yes, for our podcast listeners, tattered slacks. He looks bad. He's doing the
like he was on outfit.
Underground. So I want to know, like, what are your reactions to this craziness? I guess that's my reaction.
Wait, no, you have to pull up the comment. the most recent comment, you have to pull it up.
Wait, what are we talking about? What happened?
The most recent comment.
The most recent comment.
So was he getting his undergrad? That one?
Was he getting his undergrad or masses? Oh my gosh.
But
he was really retrieving that. But no, oh my gosh.
Okay. Why is this man in slave cosplay? Like, what is happening? For what reason? Just drop your fake deep caption and go.
I was thinking, because it was like, I saw the picture. I didn't know they were it didn't click that they were graduation pics initially. Like, because the main one floating around is him on the steps looking like a slave. So not even it took me seeing that a few times before I saw it, like that one and then the whites only, I think, sign or whatever with him at the water fountain. But then it took even longer for me to finally see him in a cap and gown. Like, sir.
Right. Just completely the wrong image. But I do want to share what his caption was, at least on. I don't know whether he originally posted this to Facebook or not, but this is what he said on Facebook. He said, "I didn't want to do a regular senior photo shoot. I wanted to make a statement. So this degree is for my ancestors as slaves when they had to sneak to get an education, for my ancestors through segregation that got ridiculed trying to learn, and all my people fighting for their lives each day and still choosing education. This degree is for us all."
I wonder what he majored in. Did he tell us that? Because I really need to know this.
He could have dropped that fake deep caption without doing the slave cosplay. Like, I just can't. Like, what? What was
his ancestors sneaking to get their education? He told you why.
No, you said that. Like, why do you have to put on the costume? Why do you have to wear the mask to become these folk walking out here barefoot in these nasty ass stairs, trying to prove a point? Ugh.
Yeah, my initial reaction was just like, what in the world is going on? I'm just trying to, seeing the caption, like, I get what you're trying to say, but your visuals need to match.
I think they match.
They matched. They just weren't necessary.
They are literal.
Well, your visuals. I don't know. Your visuals are confusing. Your visuals tell a different story. I mean, and it's like, and like you have to be aware that when you post something, things can be taken out of context very easily. So you have to make sure that the context matches your intention, that your picture matches your intention. Hopefully he learned that lesson, because yikes. He could have really just posted his graduation picture and that.
Like, it could have been 3 graduation pictures. Like,
yeah,
the caption.
But that's what happens when you do stuff for the sake of getting likes or getting social media interaction. Because had that not been there, he would not have dressed up as a slave or taken a sip at the whites only water fountain.
Well, hey, he's getting attention. He wanted it, so
exactly. Somebody else who got attention, but I'm sad that she even did this, was this girl that won. Let me just put up if I can get it. Hold on, let me get the window.
Was criminal justice major?
Yeah, criminal justice major. So here's the other picture. And I had to get a screenshot because she deleted this morning.
Because she do.
But she said, "Who can I arrest? It's definitely the then and now picture for me." And she's posing in front of a police car. She got a bachelor's. She said she got a bachelor's in criminal justice. And she's wearing like a bulletproof vest that says police on it. Couldn't really get a full picture because, of course, I just had to get the screenshot of the, how Twitter crops the photos. Mm-hmm. But that's basically it. It just seems like bad timing,
very
and insensitive. Oh, like, girl, what's going on. Like, you're a Black woman. You know what's going on. Like, why would you post that?
Girl, just like
I know she's a cop now.
Like,
I am the feds.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, like, the thing is like, my thing is, I don't have anything against you if you want to go into criminal justice, but you don't promote being. I mean, I think you don't promote being a cop. Not right, especially not right now.
Not now.
That's not something you promote. Not when everybody else in your community is talking about defund the police or abolish the police now. So I don't know how that works. I was going to say something else, but Marcus, go ahead and jump in.
Oh, what was it? Oh, yeah. When I saw it, somebody had reposted it and was like, well, she had with her caption. And it was like, not who can I serve, not who can I protect, not who can I assist, but who can I arrest? Like,
right.
Why is that your first mindset? Like sending people to jail.
Absolutely.
You really are the feds, sis.
And which is wild, because sis, you didn't need to go to college for that.
Honestly, truthfully.
You went to the police academy. You wasted your time and your money.
Yeah, okay. So that was the other thing. Those were the 2 other points that was in my head. So y'all definitely spoke what I was thinking. My gosh.
I think she does look pretty. She looks beautiful. I think in the pictures that she's like glammed up, whatever. I think that's what she was going for, being like, okay, now I'm a sexy cop. It's like, sis, we did not need that message. We did not.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Have you guys taken any crazy pictures that have gotten you in trouble?
Online? But no, I haven't. No.
Okay.
I am grateful that most of my crazy pictures are in a box and not on a Facebook or whatever album.
That's good. Yeah, I haven't taken anything that has gotten me dragged yet. Hopefully never.
Hopefully never.
You look, I mean, you never know, but I try to be very intentional and careful with what I post online, because
I think we're all a bit more cognizant of the times we're in. I think we're a bit smarter. I think we're, we're a bit more aware.
Yeah, so of course. Plus, and I think I said this a few weeks ago or something, that I have gotten all of my arguments out online on the forums before we got to social media and everything was public. You know what I'm saying? So I've done my my uneducated, my trash statements or whatever behind an avatar before we were putting our pictures out online. And, you know, I've done my back and forth stuff. And now I'm just like, you know, all peace and zen. And I don't want no drama with nobody online. Like, you know, if you're not going to give me this energy face to face, then we don't need to really, you know.
That part.
Exactly. So,
I don't like all that typing.
Anyway.
Like, just where you at?
Like, let's just fight.
Exactly.
Give me your address.
Oh goodness. All right. So that's all we have for you guys today. Of course, you can follow me at Jarrod D King. You can follow Brandon. Where are you?
Just call me Otis.
And Marcus, where are you? Where can they find you?
Loose as a deuce.
Loose as a deuce. All right. Thank you. And we've got Splitting the Bill coming up right after.
We do. It's going to get juicy today.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're going to dig into me. I have some topics already set, but we'll see if we'll get into them because we'll see how long them grilling me is going to be. But we're going to be talking about 2 cups of coffee. We're going to be talking about so basically the guy was talking about, you know, you need to get me 2 cups of coffee. And so yeah. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about taking PTO and how often you should be doing that. And then we're going to talk about, this just came out last night. I think it was like Gen Z Hospital was a sketch on Saturday Night Live. So yeah, I want to talk about that.
Seconds and I cut it off, but yeah.
So yeah, we're going to get into that. And we will see you guys in a little bit, our Patreon supporters. But thank you everyone for joining us. Let's do our quick toast.
I'm all out, but yes.
As we always say, be careful what you say because the boys will brunch. Take care.